Hey everyone, it's Kevin and Frank from Cruising with Wheels, and today we have a subscriber-inspired video for you.
That's right. You may have remembered a previous video we did on the top 8 worst meals we've had on our cruises. Well, today we're coming back at you with the top 8 best meals we've had while cruising.
Yummy! So I hope you're in for a little bit of a treat today because we have picked out our top, what do we have?
Top 8.
The top 8?
Yeah.
So we have the top 8 meals that we've had at sea on various cruise lines.
I know. And again, they're in no particular order. And some were the best meals for Kevin.
And some were the best meals for Frank. We want to, though, before we get started, remind everybody that if they're not a regular Cruising with Wheels family member,
shame on you.
Hit that subscribe button. What are we on? We're also on other social media.
Oh, yeah, we're everywhere. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat.
And don't forget Frank's Cruise Chat. It's a welcoming community for everybody who enjoys cruising. It's called Cruise Chat. It's on Facebook. It's a group that you should be involved in. But let's get right to...
That's right, because this is all about food, and it's about the best food we've had.
Now, I want everybody to know, don't we want everybody to know, that this is in no particular order. We're not doing a countdown or a count up or whatever. This is just a list that we've compiled. These are the 8 best that we've had. And we really had a hard time out of the best, picking the best of the best.
Well, yeah.
So that's why we're not doing orders.
Each one kind of had a special thing to it, actually. So the first one on the list was back in 2013 aboard the Carnival Victory.
And this meal is actually going to probably be the most controversial of this video if you watch the other one. Because it also made our 8 worst meals.
That's right. This particular meal that Kevin had was the top worst meal, but it's here on the best meal. Why is that?
Well, because my favorite meal at the main dining room on Carnival Cruise Lines is their Southern Fried Chicken. It is the best chicken I've ever had. But then again, it's also the worst. Yeah. Now it just depends on who's cooking it, I think.
You had it on the Victory in 2013. I
had it multiple times.
He just kept ordering it. He had it again in 2014 when we went back to the Carnival Conquest. It was awesome. It looked delicious. Well, of course, you know me, chicken and bones. I just watched. But unfortunately, in 2016, when we went back on the Carnival Valor, it all went downhill, and you saw that video that we did. But yeah, Kevin loves his Southern Fried Chicken.
Now, speaking of Carnival, when we were on the Carnival Conquest back in 2014, we went to the Point Steakhouse. Frank and I cannot tell you enough that if you are going on a Carnival cruise and you love steak, you have to go to their steakhouses. They blow everybody else out of the water.
We had a huge meal that night. What did you have?
Well, I had the French onion soup. I had a classic Caesar salad. I had an 18-ounce cowboy steak, a mashed potato, broccoli, and then for dessert, I had roasted almond ice cream.
Oh my God, we were up to here with the food. I had my usual appetizer, crab cake, with, again, classic Caesar salad. I joined Kevin with that giant 18-ounce cowboy steak that was kind of falling over the plate. And again, with the rest of the accoutrements of mashed potatoes.
Baked potato. Baked potato.
Oh, did I have the baked? I thought I had the mash.
I think we both had the, well, it's a, I noticed on your notes it's mashed potato, but it's a baked potato that they mash inside.
Oh, kind of chunky?
Right.
Oh, okay.
So not to correct you, I just wanted to.
I think we had both.
Yeah, I know. We just kept eating and eating.
And then I had this little platter for dessert that they called cheesecake, but it went, you remember it? It was the 4 little container glass cups that contained individual different types of cheesecake desserts.
Oh, it was so
and let me tell you, I forced those down my throat. And we were so filled that if I had turned the wrong way, I would have exploded. We ate so much food.
And it really, truly is a dining experience in the steakhouses. At least back then, they would pull out a cart. They explained all the different kinds of meats. It was a nice, quiet, intimate setting.
And it was very well done.
Yeah. Well, now, speaking of steakhouses, the next on our list is when we were on the NCL Gem in 2015. Now, you all know we love the Gem. It holds a special place in our heart. But we had
now this particular dinner, we had a good dinner, but this particular one was Kevin's.
Oh, and it was specifically outstanding for me. I had a braised short ribs. That was my appetizer.
Yeah, I took a little piece. I got to taste it.
They were succulent. They were melt in your mouth deliciousness. Followed by a Mexican Caesar salad, which is a little bit different.
Very different, but very good.
It came in like a tortilla
bowl.
But very, very good, very, very fresh. And then I had opted for the 16-ounce ribeye steak, which was like a butter.
Yeah.
And followed it up with apple crisp for dessert.
Yeah, I think that was for me.
I think you had the apple crisp,
I had the apple crisp, and you had something else. I had to throw my good dessert into that mix. So, it was really good. Cagney's, which, generally does not disappoint.
Cagney's usually does not disappoint. So by our statement of Carnival has the best steakhouse ever, by all means, other cruise lines do have phenomenal steakhouses. It just seems like Carnival's goes over and above, right?
You can't beat that giant steak.
Never have we had a bad meal. Never we've had to send anything back at the steakhouse.
Right. So, we never had issues of, that the steak wasn't cooked properly to our liking when we ordered. And then back then, I'm sure we were paying for specialty dinners.
Oh, definitely.
Back then.
And
if it was not good, it would have gone back.
If you are going to the steakhouse, you are paying for it. What's the next one?
The next one was 2016 on the Carnival Valor, and this was your meal because this is another Kevin favorite. And what did you have?
Well,
tell us what you had.
Well, on Carnival they have main dining rooms, and they have a few specialty restaurants, but this particular meal was in the main dining room, and it was started with the strawberry bisque. Phenomenal. I love
very pretty.
The strawberry bisque.
It's a cold soup.
It's a cold soup. Some would call it a gazpacho. And then, of course, the classic Caesar salad.
It always rears its head through many a meal that we have.
And on the Carnival Valor,
here it comes.
I had the best ever prime rib.
It was a big old piece of prime rib.
It was a big old honking piece of meat.
Baked potato.
I am a person who always cuts my meat with a knife, like Frank sometimes. Sometimes Frank will cut things with his fork.
Yeah, I'm a little more forceful with my fork.
And I'm a little more delicate. I did not have to. It was so tender that I did not have to.
It was good. It was a big sized piece. It was a traditional prime rib, baked potato. It was, I watched. It was good.
So in 2017, we sailed on the NCL Jade for Frank's 60th birthday cruise,
That's
right?
right.
It was your 60th?
It was my 60th.
You're old.
And we stopped. And actually, I picked for my birthday dinner that we were going to eat at La Cucina.
La Cucina.
Yeah.
It's their Italian specialty restaurant aboard. And I'll tell you what I had. I had insalata caprese, which is my ultimate favorite. It's tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, basil, and some olive oil.
Little drizzle.
I had beef lasagna al forno.
Yeah, that was good.
That thing was like big as my head.
It was good. I was eating some of it.
And I had torta di cioccolata, which
dessert.
is a chocolate pie or a cake.
Yes, yeah. So like a little thing.
It was so good. Frank, tell them what you had.
Oh my God, this was so exciting for my birthday dinner. I started with some bruschetta, which is nice. The bread was crispy. The vegetables, the tomatoes were fresh. I had the classic chicken parmesan, big old hunkin' piece of breaded chicken over some pasta and sauce.
It really
and
looked
cheese.
good.
It really was. I ate all of that and was taking some bites of his lasagna. It was my birthday.
You'll have to, if you'd like, you can actually, they can watch the video.
The video, yeah.
Of that. I'll link it above.
Yeah. For dessert, I had my lemon curd cheesecake. And then little did I know that after we thought we were done, they came over to the table and they all sang happy birthday, and I had they brought over this big square piece of their birthday cake, which was absolutely delicious.
It was really good.
So after all this food and the dessert,
I think it was like an almond-based cake.
It absolutely was.
And it had a raspberry filling.
Delicious.
It was really
I was
good.
eating it, and I said, oh God, I got to stop. And of course, I took it back to the room.
And speaking of the NCL Jade, it was a phenomenal cruise for food because it made our list another time.
Yeah.
We ate at the Keppanyaki Grill.
Yes, we did. Again, that particular cruise, which again, you can see our vlogs because we filmed the entire meal with the chef at the grill preparing what we ate. We were with Dave and Darlene, which made the cruise even more special, not only as a birthday cruise for myself, but to be traveling with them. And it was getting back to the Southern Caribbean, which I was happy to do. But yeah, the food at Keppanyaki was really, really awesome.
Now, we had this thing that's on their menu. Everything is Japanese. So we had kamakura.
Kamakura. I think.
Kamakura. Kamakura.
No, kamakura, I think. And it's a combination of chicken and filet mignon.
And it was perfection.
To say that the meats were tender would be an understatement. Because
and to say that they were perfectly seasoned would be an understatement.
It was delicious.
It was like, I think that's probably one of the best things I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was
you get a lot as part of the meal with the salads and the soups and the this and the that, but the main meal, the kamakura that we had, the chicken and the filet mignon, was to die for. And they did a special setup for us, right?
They did. Frank has some sensory issues, so on a previous sailing we had to leave because it was very loud, and we had some issues on that cruise with that.
And we didn't get to eat.
We didn't get to eat. So they actually allowed us to come in, I think it was 45 minutes early, and we had our own little private, intimate setting.
They did a private meal for just the four of us.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. And so it allowed us to have some private time, very one-on-one with the chef, and again, we got to film the whole thing.
Yep, it was bliss. I think it was really bliss. And speaking of bliss, that makes our list too. The NCL Bliss.
What a lovely segue.
The NCL Bliss. We took an Alaskan cruise.
Yeah, back in June
of 2018.
Yes. Got to get to Alaska, people. Please go.
So we have heard mixed reviews about the particular venue we're going to discuss
and I'm very disturbed when I hear people say that they had an awful experience because we couldn't wait to get aboard the Bliss. We were excited to find out about their new specialty venue, Q Texas Barbecue. And we were excited to get there. We had the best meal ever on that Alaskan cruise.
It was amazing.
It really was.
Now they have different kinds of food there. Things that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be on a cruise line. It is a barbecue place after all. So Frank started his meal with green fried tomatoes.
I know. I saw it on the menu and I said, I am having the green fried tomatoes. Followed by my all-time favorite, sweet potato, which for them happened to be a giant sweet potato as big as my head. And then I had the pulled pork platter. For dessert, again, one of my favorites, pecan pie.
Oh, we actually had
multiple desserts.
A multiple dessert. Actually, I think the maitre d', we knew the maitre d' from a previous sailing, or something happened where we knew somebody from someplace else, and they sent over an extra dessert,
which was
they said you have to try it.
Which was the mason jar banana pudding, which came in a big giant glass mason jar.
I was going to say the presentation was adorable.
Yes,
but it's not I don't think the size of this thing, you could say it was adorable.
It was huge.
It was huge. Now, I had, for my starter, the deviled eggs.
Which I was surprised that he ordered.
Oh my God, they were so good.
They were.
But I tend not to like mustard.
Right. So that's why I was surprised.
They were really, really good.
I took a piece. They were.
I'm noticing a theme. You're always taking my food.
I gotta taste it.
I then had the Lone Star potato. Guys, I have to warn you. This thing is gigantic.
It's huge.
And it comes with all
cheese
these...
and bacon and sour cream. I mean, it was loaded.
It is loaded.
A loaded potato.
And everything is bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
So I have an idea why they named it the Lone Star potato. Then I, of course, had the beef brisket platter. It was phenomenal, delicious, tender. It had just the right kind of smoke on it.
Right, and I've seen comments where people are like, oh, I hated Q. I had the beef brisket. It was dry. It was awful. And we're like, what?
Now, for dessert, I had the peach cobbler. And let me tell you, it was delicious. If you like peach cobbler, you need to try this peach cobbler.
Yeah, so there was a lot of desserts on that table.
Do you remember? It came in like a little Le Creuset frying pan.
Yeah.
It was adorable.
Yeah, it was awesome. So, I don't know, we had a great time.
Now, the last meal, I guess we'd say, that made our top 8 list.
And this was for you, because this was your birthday cruise.
It was on my birthday cruise, and it was while we were sailing on the NCL getaway. But believe it or not, guys, it was a meal that we had in port.
Right. We were in Costa Maya, Mexico, and in port shopping around, and we said, you know what? Well, let's not run back to the ship to have lunch. It's your birthday. Let's stay here in port. And we found a restaurant called Cantina Latina.
And it was actually a very interesting restaurant. I think you've pulled some pictures of it.
Yes, it's open air.
It's open air, and you know, we left before, right as they started it, but they have like the, what is that called? The boxing, they have that boxing there.
Yes, there's a lot of things going on.
I wanted to say La Cucaracha boxing, but that's not what it is. No. Macho Libre boxing.
Yes, where they wear the masks.
Where they wear the masks and the little outfits.
You can buy there.
Yes.
And come home and play your own
wrestling
boxing thing.
The meal was outstanding.
Well, yes. When Kevin opened the menu and saw chicken quesadillas on it, well, that was just it. And what did you think of those? They were the thickest. They were like this thick.
It was like, the only thing I can think of is, I think there were 3 or 4,
yes,
okay? Yeah. And it was like I had 3 or 4 chicken breasts sitting there. There was so much chicken and cheese, and I can't even keep my thoughts together thinking about it. It was outrageous.
I had their Cantina burger and fries,
and that was in honor of.
It was in honor of Dave.
Because Dave kept ordering burgers.
Dave and Darlene, he's Mr. Burger. He orders burgers. So I thought, my homage to Dave, I ordered the burger and watched, but I did again.
But you
have
said
a bite. I had a bite of the quesadilla, thick with cheese, lots of chicken. It really was good.
But you said the burger was really good.
It was good, but you know what? If we go back again,
you'll get the quesadillas.
I'm going to get the quesadillas.
Yeah. Well, those of the fans that watch us often, we should probably tell them that keep your eye out because we'll be making an announcement soon. As we were filming this episode, we booked another cruise.
Oh gosh, yep.
But we're gonna save that for another day.
That's right.
We want to thank everybody for coming and watching today. And as we said in the beginning of the video, if you're not a regular Cruising with Wheels family member, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want notifications,
hit the little bell.
Don't be a ding-a-ling. Make sure you do that. But until next time, we want to remind everybody to always
travel safe
and cruise often.